The sun was just dipping below the horizon when Staff Sergeant Daniel Brooks stepped out of the cab. 12 months deployed in a combat zone, and he was finally home. His boots hit the driveway with purpose, but his heart beat with anticipation for only one thing: Max. Max had been his rock through every storm. A stoic, loyal German shepherd with a heart bigger than any battlefield Daniel had faced. Before he deployed, he'd left Max in the care of an old friend, someone he thought he could trust. He'd sent money every month for food and supplies, even called to check in. Everything always sounded fine. Daniel's eyes scanned the quiet house. Something felt off. No bark. No scratches on the door. No blur of fur racing toward him like every other homecoming. He moved quickly, dropping his duffel by the porch and heading for the backyard gate. As he pushed it open, the scent of mold and waste hit him. His heart sank. Then he saw him. Max was curled into a bowl under a dying tree, barely breathing. His ribs poked sharply through his fur, his eyes half closed, lips dry and cracked. His fur, once glossy and thick, was now patchy and brittle. Flies buzzed around his body, but he didn't have the strength to move. Max. Daniel fell to his knees, voice breaking. He touched his dog gently, afraid even a whisper of pressure might hurt him. Max opened one eye, his tail giving the faintest twitch. Daniel's eyes flooded with tears. No, no, no. What happened? What did they do to you? He looked around. No food, no water, feces dried on the grass, the doghouse falling apart. The friend he trusted had vanished without a trace. Max had been left to die. Daniel didn't hesitate. He scooped Max into his arms, light as a feather now, and rushed toward the truck of a neighbor who had just pulled in. I need your help. Now. No words were exchanged. The engine roared to life as they sped toward the nearest emergency vet. Max whimpered weakly in the back seat, his head resting in Daniel's lap. You hold on, buddy, Daniel whispered, stroking his face. You made it through this long. You're not giving up now. The soldier who had faced war, loss, and darkness had never felt more helpless than in that moment. And yet, something inside him ignited, not just grief, but resolve. This wasn't the end for Max. Not if Daniel had anything to say about it. The fluorescent lights of the emergency veterinary clinic buzzed quietly overhead as Daniel burst through the doors, Max cradled in his arms like a wounded comrade. The receptionist took one look and shouted for the vet. Within seconds, a team rushed in with a gurney. He's severely malnourished, Daniel said, trying to stay composed. He hasn't had food or water in, I don't even know how long. Dr. Patel, the on-call veterinarian, placed a reassuring hand on Daniel's shoulder. We've got him. You did the right thing bringing him in. Just hang tight. Daniel watched as they wheeled Max away, tubes and wires already being prepped. The doors swung shut behind them, leaving Daniel in the sterile waiting room, fists clenched and mind racing. This wasn't how it was supposed to be. Max was supposed to run into his arms. They were supposed to sit on the porch, side by side, and breathe in the peace of home. Not this. He buried his face in his hands. Anger, guilt, and fear battled inside him. How could someone just walk away and leave an animal like that? How did no one notice? Was this his fault for trusting the wrong person? An hour passed. Then 2. Finally, Dr. Patel returned. Her expression was tired but calm. He's stable for now. Daniel stood immediately. Is he going to make it? She hesitated. He's in critical condition. Starvation affects every part of the body. His liver, kidneys, even his heart. We're treating what we can, but it's a delicate process. Too much food too fast can kill him. We have to reintroduce everything slowly. Daniel nodded, barely able to breathe. Dr. Patel continued, but he's a fighter. Most dogs in his condition wouldn't have lasted this long. He must have been waiting for you. Daniel swallowed hard, his voice hoarse. Can I see him? She led him to the recovery room. Max was hooked to 4 drips, a warming blanket covering his frail body. His eyes fluttered open when Daniel stepped in, and for a moment, something passed between them, an unspoken understanding. Daniel knelt beside him and gently touched his paw. "You hung in there for me, didn't you?" His voice broke. "I'm so sorry, Max. I should have been here." Max licked his fingers softly, his tail giving the faintest flick. That tiny gesture shattered Daniel. From that moment on, he never left Max's side. He slept in the chair by his kennel. He learned how to syringe feed him, clean his wounds, massage his joints. It became his new mission, his only mission. He also started documenting everything. Photos, videos, updates. At first, it was just to keep track of progress. But then, he posted a short clip of Max's first blink and tail wag on social media. He hadn't expected the response. Tens of thousands of people saw it. The comments poured in. "He's still fighting. What a warrior. Please keep sharing. This gives me hope. I'm crying. Thank you for not giving up on him." And in that moment, Daniel realized, this fight wasn't just about Max anymore. Days turned into weeks. Daniel stayed with Max through every sunrise and sunset, marking time not with hours, but with milestones. Max could lift his head. Max ate soft food on his own. Max stood, shaky, but proud. The clinic became a second home, and Daniel became a fixture in the halls. He learned more about animal recovery than he ever expected. And Max fought like a soldier, inching his way back from the brink of death with a determination that mirrored Daniel's own. The social media updates had now turned into a movement. Daniel had started an Instagram account called @Mission4Max, and within a month, it had grown to over 300,000 followers. People followed Max's journey like a serial novel, cheering for every victory, crying over every scare. And Max's story was doing something more. It was starting conversations. Shelters reached out, asking if Daniel would share resources on pet neglect prevention. Veterans commented, thanking him for speaking out. Military families messaged him in private. "I'm scared to deploy because I don't know who to trust with my dog." That struck Daniel like a lightning bolt. It wasn't just him. Max wasn't the only pet who'd been forgotten during a deployment. There were hundreds of others. Maybe thousands. That's when the idea came to life. He called it Guard Their Paws, an initiative to match active duty service members with background-checked, volunteer foster families who could care for their pets while they were overseas. No more informal handoffs. No more forgotten animals. No more heartbreak. Using the attention Max was drawing, Daniel launched a fundraising campaign with a raw video titled, "He Waited for Me." In it, he spoke directly to the camera. "This is Max. He almost died waiting for me. I thought I left him in good hands. I was wrong. If you're a soldier, you should never have to choose between serving your country and protecting your dog. We can change this, together." The video went viral overnight. By morning, it had been shared by influencers, news outlets, and even veteran organizations. Donations poured in. Lawyers offered pro bono help. Coders volunteered to build a foster match database. Within a week, Daniel was on the local news, sitting next to a now stronger Max, explaining how they'd survived hell together, and how they were going to make sure no other soldier's best friend had to. Everywhere they went, people recognized Max. At the grocery store, "Is that the dog?" At the clinic, "He's such a fighter. You both are." At the park, Max's first trip since recovery, a little boy ran up and hugged him. "You're the brave dog from the video." Max licked the boy's face, tail wagging happily. Daniel stood back, watching his best friend come back to life. And for the first time since coming home, he felt at peace. This wasn't just about recovery anymore. It was about purpose. It was about legacy. And Max was leading the charge. A year had passed since Daniel found Max dying in the backyard. A year since that moment that shattered him and rebuilt him. Max now walked proudly beside Daniel with a strength no one had thought possible. His coat had grown thick again, his eyes sparkled with life, and his bark, once weak and wheezy, now rang loud and bold as if to say, "I'm still here. I made it." But Max wasn't just a survivor anymore. He was a symbol. Guard Their Paws, the non-profit Daniel launched in Max's honor, had grown far beyond what he had imagined. It had expanded to 26 states, created partnerships with over 40 military bases, and built a vetted network of thousands of foster homes ready to care for the pets of deployed service members. Each match was a story. A soldier saying goodbye, knowing their dog or cat was going into safe, loving hands. Families staying connected through video calls with their pets. And the joy of reunion when they returned. Daniel and Max were often invited to speak at veteran events. In each auditorium, Max would sit at attention, wearing his custom vest that read, "Rescue Ambassador, Max." The crowds loved him. They cheered louder for him than for Daniel. At one such event, a young woman approached Daniel afterward. Her voice trembled. "My brother didn't make it back from Afghanistan. His dog, Ranger, was placed in one of your foster homes. We got him back because of your program. It's like a part of my brother is still with us. Thank you." Daniel was speechless. Max nuzzled the woman gently, as if he understood. The impact was real, tangible, life-changing. One crisp fall morning, Daniel sat on the porch with Max curled beside him. A hot cup of coffee in one hand, the other resting on Max's back. They watched the wind stir the leaves, golden and red, across the yard. The same yard that had once been a place of sorrow, now transformed into a place of healing. Max looked up, eyes alert, tail wagging slowly. "You feel it too, huh?" Daniel whispered. "We made it. And we helped others make it too." Max gave a soft bark, then laid his head in Daniel's lap. Daniel smiled. "You were never just a dog. You were a soldier too." That evening, he posted a video of Max playing with a group of puppies at a foster family's home. The caption read, "1 year ago, he was starving and broken. Today, he's helping other dogs find homes and helping soldiers find peace." This is Max's legacy. Never underestimate the power of love and the will to survive. The video hit 1 million views in 24 hours. Across the country and around the world, people were reminded of something powerful. That even in the darkest moments, hope can survive. That loyalty doesn't fade. That with compassion, recovery is possible. And it all began with one starving dog who refused to give up. And the soldier who came home just in time.